Hey everyone, welcome back to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. I'm Sam, your host, and today me and Napasa are back again with another exciting live episode on Daily Immigration Dose, streaming live every Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. EST. But before moving ahead to our today's topic, let me read out this very important disclaimer. That is, by watching our videos, you understand that the information shared, including user comments, is not professional advice, so use it at your own risk. Our intention is never to offend, it's just a casual exchange of ideas. All right, guys, so once again, welcome back. And Nipasa, welcome to you too. How are you doing? All great?
Thank you so much, and I'm good to be back here with you. Also, good to be back here, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on Immigration and Jobs Talk Show on Daily Dose of Immigration. So, yes, today's topic is about 11 bold things that Trump is going to do in Trump 2.0. So, it's going to be great to unfold some of the things that we are thinking we can expect
Yeah,
in the coming years. So, I'm very excited for today, Sam,
me
and I
too.
hope you are too.
Yeah, me too, because we have so much to talk about. But, guys, it's always better before jumping into today's topic. Let's have a quick brush now with all the immigration news, whatever happening around the world. So, here are some news update that you should be aware of. So, let's begin. Firstly, about Trump's proposed mass deportation plan that is largely based on a law that was first enacted all the way back in 1798, and that is the Alien Enemies Act. Well, this law was originally used during wartime, specifically during World War II, to detain and deport non citizens from countries like Japan, Germany, and Italy. And these countries are considered enemies at that time of US. Well, Trump also suggests that he could use this law again to target undocumented immigrants, especially those from countries with which the US had tensions. So, this is basically the Alien Enemies Act that is going to be implemented, that may implement by Trump. So, we are not very much sure that whether this is going to be helpful for people or whether this is going to be sad for people. So, moving ahead to our next country that we are going to talk about, that is Los Angeles. And if we talk about Los Angeles, then this is taking a bold step. And the bold step that we are going to talk is definitely going to blow up your mind. That is, Los Angeles is taking a bold step to prepare itself a sanctuary city. This means that local governments, agencies like city police departments, schools, hospitals, or other public services will not cooperate with federal immigration authorities, such as ICE, to help in finding, arresting, or deporting people who are in the US without legal status. And this is creating tensions between the city and the incoming Trump administration. In fact, Mayor Karen Bass also said that this is a leading the charge in this and says that it's important to protect the rights on immigrants in Los Angeles. In fact, he also says that undocumented immigrants deserve protection, especially in the face of a more aggressive federal stance under Trump's administration. So we can see how Los Angeles is taking a bold step. Moving ahead, Trudeau recently shared a video where he talked about Canada's record high immigration levels. He said that we made some mistakes. These mistakes led to some bad things that's happening, like fake colleges and businesses taking advantage of the system. Trudeau also said that the country now needs a big turn in policy to fix these problems. Well, Trudeau is accepting his mistake and now he is trying to make a better move. Moving ahead with Trump's plan, Trump also plans to declare a national emergency and the use US military to carry out a mass deportation of undocumented migrants. Trump made this announcement on his social media platform, Truth Social. He shared a post from a conservative activist who said that the president elect is ready to declare a national emergency and use military forces to stop the Biden invasion and launch a mass deportation program. Well, after sharing that post, Trump simply commented, "True." But this raises a big question about legality, resources, and how it would actually work. Well, these were some news update that was from my side. Moving ahead to different news updates that is going to share by my co-host Nepasa Pradhan.
Definitely, I think with Donald Trump back in White House, supported by the Republican Congress and a conservative Supreme Court, the stakes are high. Yes, from immigration reforms to economic policies. The big question is, what could the next 4 years look like under Trump's leadership? And yes, we will explore his ambitious plans, including mass deportations, just like Sam has also highlighted. Then, of course, a new wave of tariffs and potential transformations in areas like artificial intelligence and Middle East policy as well. So these aren't just political promises, there are moves that could redefine the American landscape, and I think we are looking ahead to 4 years of a lot of happenings. So to set the stage, there are some recent headlines that I would like to touch upon, and some of them are Trump's tariff tsunami, the global trade shakeup. So how new tariffs could reshape the economy, and the second is Immigration Overhaul 2.0, the largest deportation effort in US history. So, this is also going to potentially impact millions out there. And also, on the other hand, we have reproductive freedom at risk. So, what a conservative court means for women, a critical look at policy shifts as well. So, and on the last but not the least, I also wanted to touch up of anti-poverty programs in peril. So what's next for social support, examining proposed budget cuts as well. So talking about these things, there are so many things happening also, but before we move ahead to all of these things in details, I wanted to say that folks out there, you can also join us in this conversation. All you have to do is dial this number, which is there on the screen, 425-436-6335. And when they ask for the access code, you just need to dial 988-888, and you will be able to hear us here and join us on the conversation. But also, I mean, you can join us on Restream, on video. You can just be a part, just like me and Sam here. Just like we had yesterday. Um, please help me with the name, Sam.
Jagat, Jagat.
Jagat
Yeah,
Jagat joined us yesterday, so it was really lovely having him. And we're looking forward for him to join with his friends, Sai, the two Sais, I
Sai
remember.
Kiran, Sai Deep, I guess.
Yeah.
I
So
remember
I
it.
Sam, your memory is better than mine, but thank you so much. We are looking forward for folks out there to join us. So yes, looking forward for a great conversation ahead. And so yes, getting back to what I was going to speak earlier is first things first, um, Donald Trump is heading back to the White House, and it's really time to move beyond campaign promises to action. And the plans are really big, whatever he has. So, Trump's second term could bring significant changes to immigration, trade, and social policies, as we all have been reading a lot and researching, and everything leads us to all these kinds of news. So, on immigration point of view, he's pledging the largest deportation campaign in US history, aiming to build large detention camps, and even hire more border agents and reinstate strict policies like remain in Mexico. But many are asking, how will he fund these sweeping plans? So that's the big question. And if you look at the trading point of view on the trade side, Trump has talked about imposing tariffs of up to 20% on all imports and as much as 60% on Chinese goods. So it's a bold move, but experts warn that this could lead to retaliation from global trading partners, possibly sparking economic challenges at home. So that's another thing to look at. And when we look at the healthcare point of view and the social policies, Trump says he's ready to shake up federal health agencies, potentially putting vaccine skeptic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in charge. So, meanwhile, his stance on abortion has left many divided as he distances himself from federal bans but avoids codifying protections. And yes, globally, Trump promises to end wars, whether it's from Ukraine or to the Middle East. So, though he hasn't shared concrete plans as yet, but definitely peace talks are on. And I think it's clear that Trump 2.0 is set to be fast and ambitious, with a government ready to move quicker and more decisively than during his first term. So I think we can look forward for that. Sam, if you have anything more to add.
I think you have given us a kind of a blueprint of today's topic, but also, I would like to say that this is definitely going to be a very exciting topic because we have so many different subtopics also to cover. And as we know that Trump is preparing his level best, to return with a bold and ambitious agendas. And he has also outlined, a series of very different and impactful actions that he has plans to implement on day one of his second term. So I think I don't know how it's going to be, but he is full on energy. He is completely a very enthusiastic man and a very motivated man. So I think he will definitely go up with all the criteria and all the agendas that he made up. So I think let's go ahead and let's explore his top 11 priorities that he might unfold and what it could mean for the nation. So, guys, let's begin with our very first subtopic and with very first priority of Trump that he's going to explore, and that is mass deportation of immigrants. So, as we know that Trump has pledged to launch a large-scale deportation program that is definitely going to target the undocumented immigrants, and he has also referred that this is going to be the largest deportation program in the history of America. So I think these are the keywords that we need to keep up in our mind because it's something that, very scary and very, I would say, disturbing too. And he also wants to involve some local police and the National Guard to quickly remove individuals if he sees any threat or any problem that is suffering from any problematic. So I think he will also keep some kind of safety threats, I mean, safety things for the people and for the public so that the people out there won't feel any threat or won't I mean, suffer any harm. Then, secondly, we are here with the second priority that is closing the border immediately. So, Trump has said that on his very first day, Trump is going to close the US Mexico border. And he sees this as a kind of a top priority for him as a national security. And he also plans, to strengthen border security by building more walls and tightening some immigration laws. So I think Trump is very clear with his thoughts and he literally wants to stop all the illegal crossings that are immediately and how people are misusing the border walls, the restrictions. So he just want to go on with his plan. And thirdly, this is boosting oil and gas production. Well, this is also a third priority or the third agenda that Trump is trying to implement on his first day. Well, Trump wants to increase the amount of oil and gas the US produces, and he's also planning to do more drilling for oil. And there's a very interesting agenda name that he has put for this policy that is drill baby drill. So this is something very interesting and very catchy too. And Trump behind this, I think there's a motive behind it. That is, he wants to make America to be more independent in terms of energy, and he wants to save money. He wants to reduce. He wants to reduce dependence on other countries that they shouldn't rely on oil supplies, and he also wants to lower energy prices like gas and different materials that we can get from oil. And this is how he can also create jobs by giving employment to different people too. And I think this is something very important that viewers should out know about what are the different priorities and what are the different agendas that Trump is planning to. And moving ahead, we also have ending Biden's electric vehicle mandates. So this is
Mhm.
something, yeah, this is something very interesting that I would like to say that these rules were actually made by Biden. So there are so many rules that were made by Biden, and now Trump is going to abolish all of them. So he is trying his level best to push for cleaner energy like electric cars and to reduce pollution and combat climate change. Well, these were the agendas that Biden put, but now Trump is disagreeing with these things, and he is trying to, reduce basically to help Americans by giving them facilities, but in low cost. And that's why he believes that these things are very expensive for consumers. and the rule
Mhm.
is driving up the cost of goods and energy too. So he is referring that these policies as the green new scam, and he is also suggesting that they are not much effective and they basically hurt Americans by making things more costly. So yeah, I think I have given some kind of the blueprint of what the priorities will be and how agendas will be of Trump. So Napasa, why don't you go ahead and share with us different aspects of these agendas?
Yes, I think to add more to the list, I mean, since we're talking about 11 bold things, but I don't know if we have all the 11. I'm sure there are so many more. But you already touched upon mass deportation, and also I wanted to add saying, we are also going to have hardline Middle East policies. So we are going to expect a tough stance on Iran, Syria, and other Middle Eastern countries. And even Trump will likely continue to prioritize Israel and take a hardline approach to any perceived threats in the region. And apart from that, we are also going to, I think, see AI regulation and investment. I think this is a new thing, and everybody is so much into AI nowadays. So yes, Trump may prioritize the regulation of artificial intelligence and make significant investments in AI and technology to keep America competitive globally, especially with China. And apart from that, also we have reinstating Muslim ban. What we spoke yesterday also about this. He may reinstate or expand his controversial ban on travelers from certain predominantly Muslim countries, arguing it's necessary for national security. So that's another very thought provoking, and I don't know how moral or immoral, but that is something we might expect as well. And apart from this, I think, Sam, we are also going to have, you know, undermining reproductive rights. So, with conservative Supreme Court, Trump's second term may see attempts to restrict abortion rights and challenge reproductive freedom, possibly overturning key rulings like Roe versus Wade. So
Mhm.
I think this is also something we spoke about yesterday on
Yeah.
our daily dose itself. So these are things that we are going to see, and of course, apart from this, we already spoke about tax cuts and tax cuts for the wealthy, and also more deregulation also. So anything more you can add, Sam?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, as I think this is a really good thing that we are talking about the Trump's first 11 things that he's going to implement during his first day. There are also more guys, that as I have already mentioned few. Now I would like to mention more. That firstly, it's pardons for capital writers. So this actually what happened that Trump is trying to ask for pardons for capital writers. So there's an incident, on January 6th that in 2021 when he was uh, trying to beat Biden, but unfortunately he didn't. So the mob of supporters of the Donald Trump's people were actually stormed the US Capitol in Washington. And there was a huge riot, there was a huge chaos, that Trump supporters made at that time. And this attack actually took place while Congress was in the process of certifying the 2020 presidential election results. But unfortunately, the Trump supporter felt very bad because Joe Biden's won. So this is something that Trump is trying to implement, and he would pardon many of the individuals who were convicted for their involvement in the January 6th attack. And he also calls them the unbelievable patriots. And he is he made it very clear that offering them pardons would be the first priority of day one of Trump's administration. And he could also stop, ongoing some legal proceedings by granting pardons to some of those who were involved in the attacks. And there are also more Trump is also going to talk about reversing transgender protections in school. So currently, guys, there is some rules in schools, in US schools, that says that they can't treat transgender students unfairly because of their gender identity. So Trump has put up his different point of view. and he's saying that he wants to remove these protections. Well, I don't know why, but this is what he's saying. And like surprisingly, he doesn't want schools to have rules that stop discrimination against transgender students. And this means that schools could treat transgender students differently than others. So, Nipasa, I would like to ask from you: do you think that Trump is going to, talk about this, and he is trying that the transgender students, those who are getting little preference, they are getting little protection in school, they won't be getting those preferences anymore? So, what's your point? Do you think that they should be treated in a well way, or they should be given some more priority, or what it is?
I think, I mean, uh, everybody should be treated equally, no matter what gender. So I think neutralization or being as neutral to each and every gender would be important. So I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about special rights or special treatment, I think it would not be that necessary. And also, it's a sensitive thing, actually, to discuss too much about it. And we may not know what they're really going through. But also at the same time, to treat them like they're way too special
Hmm.
or something different than, I mean, like a no, like I think they should just have like a normal, neutral thing for everybody to follow. I think that's all I can say.
It shouldn't be treating differently, or it shouldn't be treating them in a different way that they also feel that they are not equal. There shouldn't be any racism, or there shouldn't be anything. So I don't know whether we should support this or not, but Trump said that he's going to remove those protections, and he doesn't want schools to have rules that stop discrimination against transgender students. So, and Trump also wants, to stop schools from teaching certain things, for example, transgender insanity. So, this is a topic, or this is a subject that, in schools, US people used to teach their students. And now Trump believes that it's not a good way, that schools are going to teach about transgender insanity. Let parents take this responsibility and let them decide whether they want to teach their children or not about transgender insanity. So, if you are talking about the personal opinion, then I think this is somehow good also, because I think, people get influenced, people get astray while talking in schools also. So I think if they will personally talk to their parents and they will connect more with their parents, then I think that will also help them, to know themselves better. And that too, it's a very hot topic, and it's a very major
But
concern,
I don't know if it's going to be possible, Sam, because like, what if, I mean, as kids, they may not be able to open up with their parents as much as they would easily open up with their friends. And you think that not having a gender subject, is not going to make them speak about gender or what they're feeling is totally wrong. They are obviously going to be vocal about their feeling or, what,
Mhm.
and whether they have that subject in the academics or not.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, that is also a point, that we can agree. But it's, I think, when we talk about how can you be open with your parents, and especially about your identity, especially about your, this is something very personal. So
Yeah.
we can just have a look, that how children can be more free with their parents. How can children be more comfortable with their parents? Now it depends whether they are comfortable with their teacher, whether they are comfortable with their friends, or with the parents. It's most important thing, I think, to get the right guidance, and that's how anyone can have a right decision and can be on a right track, instead of misplacing, or instead of misusing something or the other. So I think it's also very important to guys connect with your parents and talk about them. They are definitely going to help you out. And that too also, this is a very major topic and a very hot topic that US is going through right now. So why don't you guys come ahead and join us on this platform? So this is a free platform where you can easily share all your thoughts, all your point of views with us, and we are definitely going to welcome you wholeheartedly. So guys, please come ahead and join us and be a part of us, so that we can have great conversation of every topic, not only related to today's one, but any topic related to immigration, Trump, or worldwide, anything that you would like to share with our viewers. So it would be great if you could come ahead and join us, or you can also dial us on 425 #4366335. And after dialing it, you'll get an access code that is 9 and 5 times 8 with hash. So, guys, it's a great opportunity for you all to be a part of our show too. And, go ahead and join us. We'll be really happy to have you. All right, so let's move ahead with our next priority that Trump is going to implement on his first day. That is, he is saying that he is going to stop giving federal money to schools. Now, this is a great discussion that he is not giving, any federal money to schools. He says that some schools make students get vaccinated, but Trump believes that this goes against parents' rights. So he wants to stop funding for schools with vaccine requirements. Now, Napasa, what you would you like to say about this? Do you think that this vaccination agenda that Trump is creating right now is it fine?
Well, there are some vaccines which are much needed, but I don't know if it's a choice, individual choice or parents' choice. I mean, depending on whether it's a minor or an adult, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where is he going. But you can see how business minded he is, or rather, how money minded he is. How he would like to save his money. I mean, the money and put it in a better place. I think this is how Trump is prioritizing right now. He's thinking where to go about, what steps will he first take, and this could be just one of his plans.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I also don't know that why these different categories are being implemented by Trump, and what is the reason behind of not giving money to schools. That because I think vaccines are the most important thing that everyone should be aware of. But still, let's see what he does. And moving ahead, guys, there's also another plan that is tariffs on imports, especially from China and Mexico. So here Trump is actually planning to place high tariff that are taxes on goods that are coming from countries like China and Mexico. He thinks that this is going to help protecting American jobs and also reduce food prices. For example, he wants to add a 60% tariff on goods from China and 25% on imports from Mexico. And he also believes that tariffs are a good way to support US businesses. Moving ahead, there's also another plan that is overhauling the federal government. That means firing thousands of employees. So, well, Trump being Trump, he doesn't have a second thought about firing anyone, and that's what he is going to implement on his very first day. So, Trump wants to fire thousands of federal workers who he believes are going to stop his plans or have political biases. So, Nipasa, here I would like to ask you a question. That Trump is so much into, increasing employment, and he's also working on some independent energy things also. So, do you think that if someone is going against his policies and he's definitely going to fire them out, you think it's fine? Won't it affect their employment rate?
Of course it will, but you never know. I mean, Trump being Trump, he will just do it. If I mean, anybody coming on his way, he's definitely going to try to do anything to stop that disturbance from happening. So he might as well fire.
He might. And, we guys are also very, I mean, we don't know how it's going to happen. And as Trump, he called these workers like part of the deep state and says that they are holding back progress. So if Trump thinks that, if their colleagues or if their people, teammates are holding him back, then he's definitely going to fire them like anything. And by firing them, Trump also aims to clean up the government and make it more efficient. That's what he believes. And but this could also impact, many important government services as we have already talked right now.
Yes.
All right. So next is ending the Russia-Ukraine war. So there's
Hmm.
also, this is also a topic, a very hot topic that Trump has mentioned in his
Yeah.
priority things. That Trump is claiming that he can end the war between the Russia and Ukraine in just 24 hours. So, Nepasa, do you think it's possible for Trump's side that he can end these, the most devastating and the most, what to say, the unstable war that can never people expected?
Well, Trump has promised to end the war I mean, with Ukraine quickly, but you know what experts say? They say that his approach may heavily favor Russia. So, um, I don't know how is it going to work, but He's reportedly had back channel talks with Putin himself, and also plans to cut US aid to Ukraine. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what news has. And yes, I think I can say that for now.
Yeah, he said, that he can directly talk to the leaders of Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also says that, he believes that his relation with Russia, that is Putin, is quite peaceful and is quite better. So he can make peace deal quickly. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but he gives that assurity that he is definitely going to end Russia-Ukraine war in just 24 hours. So I think that's a very, powerful statement that Trump has given. And that's, I think, a very, not a, but, that's something, even if a leader is taking that stand, taking that much confidence in him, I think he's definitely going to be very strong, and he is very much confident about all his statements, all his strong
Yeah.
opinions that he makes, right?
Yes, that is why he is the president of the, I think, biggest and the most powerful um, place out there.
He
Well,
is.
you know what? I think we should read up some comments,
Sure.
Sam. But yeah, you can wrap up what you were saying.
No, no, I was just talking about that. I think let's have a look on our viewers too, because guys, it will be great if you could join us. So let's go ahead and dial the
Yes.
number that is given, and it will be great if you could also join us.
Yes, all you have to do is dial this number 425. It's there on the screen, so check it out. It's on top. You can see 425-436-6335, and the access code is 988888, and that's the code you just need to put in. And once you're in, just say hello, Nifa. If you can hear me, I will be able to hear you. So I'm there on the line already, and it'll be really nice to have you join us. What you have to say on our topic of discussion for today: 11 bold things Trump will do, how they impact immigrants. But more than anything else, we just would love to get to know you. Maybe just join this conversation, and we'd like to see what you have got to say to us.
Yeah, that will be great. All right, Neva. So
Yes.
I think let's have a look on some of the comments that we have received.
Yes. Let's take up Arpita. Arpita is saying immigration became a central issue during Trump's presidential campaign with promises to deport millions and tighten the US Mexico border after record breaking migrant crossings under President Joe Biden's administration. Trump vows tough action on undocumented migrants, pledges national emergency and military mobilization for border security. So yes, I think these are some of the bold things that he is going to definitely do.
Yeah, and I think, but Napasa, I don't think that it's that easy. It's definitely not going to be easy because
Yeah, it's not easy.
it's, yeah, it will cost a lot, and I think there was
It's
some
going to affect the economy. It's going to affect
exactly.
so many millions of lives out there.
And
I
it's
mean,
not
imagine like he's thinking about firing so many.
right.
And I mean, these are daily workers, and they also have families who are dependent on them. Maybe they are the only breadwinners of their family. So I think we are talking about major changes, and a lot can happen. This could be, I don't know, I was reading earlier, like, I mean, this could really be very, very traumatic. I'm sure many people out there are already traumatized and are really feeling so much pressure because they don't know what to do or where to go, or they're feeling very uncertain about their own future.
Yeah, that is. But Napasa, I also think this thing that when they entered the US, so from that time till today, that has been a pretty long time, so that they can prepare documents, they can have a proper. I mean, there shouldn't be any questioning that that why are they here illegally, because they have
Hmm.
enough time to prepare their documents. But still, if
Yeah.
they don't have, then I think they are misusing this benefit. Because it's all like they see, if you're not legal, that means that you are some or the other categorized in criminal only.
Hmm.
So I think this is I think this time that Trump is taking a very strong stand, and that's how it should be. Because if your country is not having the legal legal people, legal citizens, then I don't think that that shouldn't be a good country. That can't be lead to a civilized society until and unless the citizens are legal themselves. So I
Right.
think Trump, yeah,
When you put it that way, of course, Sam, I totally agree
Mhm.
with you. There's nothing I can argue on that note. And of course, folks out there, I mean, they know themselves whether they came in legally, illegally, or whether their ancestors came in legally or illegally. And they know by now whether they should have been documented by now or not. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when you put it that way, yes, if they didn't make it a point to get themselves documented or
Mhm.
legalized or, stuff like that, then it's definitely not right.
Of course, it is not. And well, if we look into this topic, then I think we will have so much to talk about. And, there are so many people out there who should also share their point of view. So, guys, if you can also let us know that what do you think about Trump's administration? What do you think about legal, illegal immigrants? Do you think that Trump is doing right? Do you think that Trump is doing wrong? Or if he's doing right, then what are the aspects that he can make it better? Or if he's doing something great, then I mean, we have so much things to talk about. You guys have so much to let us know about your information, your point of views, your thoughts. So, it will be great to join us on this platform, and, let's have this platform, and let's have this opportunity as much as possible so that we can have a great conversation. We can also have a good topic of discussion. So, that will be great too. All right. And Napasan, there's also, one more plan that Trump is trying to implement, on his very first
Mhm.
day. That is, yeah, he's trying to implement the death penalty for drug dealer. So yeah, let's talk about it because this is also very important. So what are your point of views?
Well, if you really take the point of view of not just me, but I think so many people out there, when you talk about drug problem, it's in every corner of the world. And, when you look at who is involved, it's mainly the youth. Starts from teenage, certain, say about 14 years of age to goes
Mm-hmm.
on to I mean 18 to 21 to 23 to 25, and these are the future of the world. They are This is the generation who need to be as healthy, but when they are getting into substance, I mean there's so many different kinds of them nowadays. um,
Mm-hmm.
and they wouldn't have access to all of this if it wouldn't be for all of those dealers. So I think in it is it would be, I think, a very good, how to say, death penalty is, I think I would go for it. What about you? Would you vote for a death penalty for a drug dealer, Sam?
I think, yeah, of course, it's a very, great plan that has to be implemented. And I think more importantly, there's the fear that, any criminal or any person, if he or she is doing wrong or something, illegal, then that person should have some fear in the back of their mind that what if they get caught? Or what if they
Mm,
have to, uh, be imprisoned or have to suffer this much? So I think Trump is completely into it, and he is like focusing definitely on death penalty for drug dealers, because drug dealers, I think they are playing with people's life, with children's life, adolescents. I mean, whosoever they are selling drugs to. So I think this thing is very good. If Trump is taking a step on it, and he also believes that drug dealers should face the death penalty, and this is a part of this plan, so that he can,
yes.
yeah, he can remove the the drug dealers from the country, and definitely can make America great. So I think by
Yeah,
removing
I mean,
negativity is very important.
yes, yes. And this is his, tough on crime agenda, and it is going to work out. Tougher sentences for drug offenses. So, like you said, of course, death penalty, and of course, this is going to be against opioid crisis and other drug-related crimes. And also, he's going to target major drug traffickers. So the
Mhm.
focus would be on drug dealers, particularly those involved, in all these different and dangerous substances. and they have contributed to the widespread addiction and overdose deaths in the United States. So this is going to be a huge thing. He's going to, I don't know how, but if all of these can be, um, dug out and be removed from the society, from America as a whole,
Mhm.
I think we are going to save millions of lives out there.
Of course,
And
yeah.
yeah, sorry, yeah, Sam, say.
No, no, I'm saying that I'm completely agreeing with your point. It is
Yeah.
definitely going to save millions of lives. And also, there's a drug that is like opioids, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or wrong, but that is the drug, that is the most dangerous one. That is like completely very popular, in US, that people use those. So I think that Trump is trying to give a harsh punishment, like the death penalty, obviously, so that they can scare people, from selling drugs. And I think many people are unsure about this idea. So, guys, I don't know if you are,
I mean, they are illegal for a reason. I mean,
yeah.
for real, they are illegal for a reason. They are things that are very, very harmful. And if folks out there really want to live, uh, these are substances that they should never ever be addicted to. Of course, there are other legal stuff also which are very harmful, but I think this is one of the ways where Trump is going to attack these uh, people who are, heavily drug offenders. I
Hmm.
think that's what I can say.
Yeah, of course. I think that's correct that you are speaking. And Nabasa, let's took some more viewers' comments that we have received. So I think I can see Arpita also.
Arpita, we took all of them.
I
Let's.
think
Oh,
she,
again, here she's
yeah,
come. He
we,
also told, "I will prevent World War III and I will restore peace through
she,
strength."
okay, I think Trump has a lot to say, and he says something that is
Well, he will.
very eye-opening. Hmm.
Do you
And then,
want to take up Richard's
yeah,
comments?
sure, sure. Richard has also commented us so many things, so let's read it out one by one. Okay, so Richard is saying that seven things Trump says he will do as president. Firstly, deport undocumented migrants.
Yes.
Yes, moves on economy, tax, and tariffs. Yeah, we talked about it. Then cut climate regulations. Yes. Then end Ukraine war. Definitely. And then on day one, we will begin the largest deportation operations in American history. Napasa, this is really scary, when Trump says that we are going to have a largest deportation in American history. This seems, I don't know whether this is going to be brutal or what, but this is how it sounds. Is it sound similar to you?
Yes, we have been discussing this much before the election started and even after elections. And this is a concern for many, for sure. The largest deportation and operation in the American history. But, he's going to do it in such a way that he wouldn't have to pay for it because he's definitely going to use those funds in a better way. That's how Trump is. So, from what we have all been discussing, and especially these immigration attorneys who join us, they say that he's going to make it impossible for illegal immigrants out there, so they will have to deport themselves, and
Hmm.
without the funding from the US. So let's see how that also happens, because I mean, imagine the largest deportation, imagine how many thousands or millions of them. What is going to happen? What after that? It's going to
Right.
affect the economy. What if I mean, many America also would have been dependent on them because they would hold their positions in various walks of life, and they will suddenly have to vacate all those posts and positions. What
Right.
after that? What after that? Who's going to fill those positions? And what about their lives if they have to just leave America suddenly?
Exactly. And that is something, very saddening that may happen. So, okay, let's have a look on the second comment that we have received from Richard. That is my very first day back in the White House. I will terminate every single open border policy of the Biden Harris administration and we will seal the border. These are something, very enthusiastic and very different point of views that Trump says, and he
This is
literally.
a continuation. I mean, in his first reign, he started the physical border, and he is aiming to complete the border wall for sure this time. And he's not going to stop until that is completed.
Definitely. And then also Richard
Moving,
mentioned about
yes,
we will drill, baby, drill.
drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
Then
And
we will end inflation and make America affordable again.
yeah. So do you think, Nibasa, that, by having this drill, baby, drill agenda, you think that this is going to help America? But if they make oil, if they try to make more oil that is available from places like government owned land, so do you think that this is going to make America independent on oil things, or what do you think about it?
And of course, I mean, Trump aims to expand oil and natural gas drilling on public lands, and this means that the importing of these resources is going to be lessened, and that way, of course, America will be independent. That they will be able to depend on their resources, what their own land has to offer to them,
Hmm.
than importing all this with a lot more money.
And on the
So
other hand, he is so much focusing about like how to boost oil and gas production. On the
yes,
other
I think
hand, yeah.
I think the goal is to increase US energy independence and boost production to compete with global oil markets.
Mhm. Yeah, of course, that's what he says. But there's also a thing that he is trying to end Biden's electric vehicle mandates. So I think
Hmm.
there's some kind of diplomacy that he does, because it's always that he is so much saying that he wants to boost oil, and on the other hand, he is trying to end Biden's electric vehicle mandates. That is very important, because if there will be electric car, there will be electric bike or whatsoever, it is definitely going to help the environment. It will make environment better, there will be less pollution, and the climate will obviously change and will become better. But still, Trump disagrees with Biden's plan, and he says that it's going to be very expensive for consumers, and the rule is definitely going to drive up the cost of goods and energies. And that too, he also
Yes.
says that this is green new scam. So I don't know. I just see a bit of diplomacy that Trump is creating. What are your thoughts of this, Nepasa?
I think it's from my side, it'll be a little mixed because when you talk about electricity, you need to charge, right? And where does it all come from? It's not for free. Energy is not free unless it is like solar energy or some other convertible energy, which is natural.
Mm-hmm.
So I think on that note, maybe it's yeah.
I think this is something that we can't actually predict about how Trump is, because on the other hand, all the policies that he is applying, he is giving it so much, such a good advantages. He's showing it in a very positive way. But on the other hand, if what Biden has, tried to implement the electrical vehicles, then on the other hand, he's trying to like demean him with such a harsh words that he's not good, he's the worst president, or America is going to degrade. So there are so many things that Trump says, but I don't know whether we should take it in a positive way or in a negative way, but this is how Trump is going to rule. So I think, guys, this is going to be very interesting, to talk about how Trump is going to rule, and whether he is really a diplomat, or he is actually what he stands for. So there are so many things to talk about. And next, we are going to take Richard's again comment that he says, I will terminate the green news scams and end the electric vehicle mandate. That's what we talked
That's
about,
what
right?
we're speaking about. Yeah.
Yeah. The next we have, we will pass massive tax cuts for workers that include no tax on tips. Yeah, I think, Napasa, we can also talk about this, about tax, that as Trump also says that he is going to reduce tax, and he's going to work, that he's going to implement taxes on imports as well, especially from countries like Mexico and China. So he thinks that this is going to help in protect American jobs and reduce food prices too. What do you think on this?
Well, I am like running short of ideas, or rather, like any opinions also as such. But yeah,
Because we have so much to process, we can't
yes,
just.
there's so much happening, there's so much to process, and we don't know if all of this is going to really be successfully be implemented or as soon or as I mean as early, or how long do we have to wait for all this to happen? Or is it really going to happen? Or are we just overthinking right now?
There's so many questions that we are having in our mind so much. So just imagine, like, we are not even matlab, we are not in that phase, but still we are so anxious. So the people, the Americans, those who are actually being in that country, how much anxious they would be by thinking all the time that how Trump is going to implement, what are the different plans or what are the different things that he's going to do. So
Mhm.
I think they are literally having a big roller coaster ride right now that they are feeling, but we can't get it. Anyway,
Mhm.
guys, so if any of you are going through any situation, or if you would like to talk about how Trump is going to plan ahead, or how the America will look like under Trump's administration, or how you guys are feeling right now. So I think it will be great to have you all, to have your information, have your thoughts, and everything that you would like to share with us on this platform. All right. So yeah, Nipasa, I would also like to talk about, that how he also talked about ending the Russia and Ukraine war. So do you think that
Mhm.
he has that much power? He has that much strongness in him that he can implement this war within 24 hours?
Well, what if he's challenged of what he's saying? I'm sure he must have put some thought or and not just blurted it out like that. But 24 hours does seem like a very, very short span. But if he says it's possible, maybe it is. I don't know to how much percent it is possible, but
No,
yeah.
I don't think it's possible. Of course, because ending a war, that too in countries, I think this is something. Uh,
Okay, tell me what would ending this war need?
I think obviously there should be some strictness. There should be some kind of treaties that should be peaceful treaty that should be assigned. Then only the war is going to end. But I don't think that Trump. See, Trump can do. I'm not saying that he's not capable. He is capable, but not within 24 hours. 24 hours is a
That's
very
what I'm
short
saying.
span of time, right? It's not possible practically to just go and talk to Putin and tell that this is not good, and Putin is going to accept all the things of what Trump says. That's also not going to happen because Putin is also very strong, president. So I don't think that
What
he.
if it happens? What if they just have like a normal conversation like me and you, Sam, and they're like, let's end the war, and they just end. They like Putin just says to his country like, stop it all, and Trump also just says to America, stop it all.
But I think that Putin and Trump, they both are some on the other little similar. They both want to dominate. They both have a very strong personality. I don't think they want to let to be submissive in front of anyone, even though they know that they are the most powerful. They are the most strongest uh, countries in the around the world. But still, they will try their level best to show
Yes.
that each time. So I think it's little different to convince Putin and talk about ending the war, and that too the most powerful country. If there they are, then I think it's something very different, and it's something going to be
Hi,
difficult.
Nipas and Sam. I am so sorry I couldn't follow the whole of your show, but I did hear you guys talking about the war. I don't know. Honestly, you know, thinking about whether Trump or President Putin, they want to end the war or not. I think Trump is going to favor Russia. I mean, because this is what he said. I mean, because everybody by now everybody knows that the Biden administration and the Democrats who are helping Ukraine. with the war, and they were giving out the funds and were helping Ukraine with the funds. That's how Russia and Ukraine were having the war, right? So because, and this is what, while Trump was campaigning, he said that as soon as I joined the office the first day, or maybe in some days, I'm going to end the war, and I'm going to do that by stopping the funds to Ukraine, by stopping the funds, by stopping the funds to President Zelensky, so that, because right now he's completely dependent on, because they are already in a war, right? So they don't have that much funds. Ukraine, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Russia, of course, we all know how powerful Russia is. So Ukraine, I don't think so. Ukraine is completely dependent on US for the funds. So if I think Trump decides that I don't know who all you favored, whether you favor Trump or not, that he's going to end the war or not. But I very much think that he will support, and he will not give out the funds, and he will stop helping Ukraine with the funds. And see, as soon as he stops the funds, I think it's pretty easy. It'll be pretty easy for Russia to also stop the war, because then they won't be able, because then they because Ukraine will not be able to reciprocate if, even if Russia attacks, right? And if they won't be able to reciprocate, I don't think so. Then there will be war left, right? So then I don't think so Russia is going to attack. So I think this is what, maybe I don't know whether they will have a peace deal or not. That's highly unlikely. But I think that they, most definitely, the war will come to an end. That's for sure. But right now, I think President Biden, he shut an embassy in Russia.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, I read it somewhere. So he shut an embassy in Russia. So I think the capital of Russia may be Kiva. I don't know,
Moscow.
Kiev. I don't know if I'm taking the name right. So somewhere they shut one embassy, one embassy. So and reciprocating to which, Putin has said that he is going to. One second, let me just confirm it quickly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I think Russia and US. Okay, let me read it out from courtesy credit. Indian Express. So I am reading this news from Indian Express, and they are saying that the U.S. embassy in Kyiv was closed on Wednesday, November, over concerns of a potential significant air attack. And so the Department of State Consular Affairs said in a statement, out of an abundance of caution, the embassy will be closed, and embassy employees are being instructed to shelter in place. The U.S. Embassy recommends U.S. citizens to be prepared to immediately shelter in the event an air alert is announced. So these things are going on, and Putin has already warned Moscow that he would view the use of these long range missiles on Russian territory as the direct participation. So I think because of this, President Putin is against. Um, Yes, President Putin is against the Biden administration. So they said that, he said actually that he's going to do something. I will have to be correct on the news because I don't want to give out the wrong
Of
news.
course. Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, we can, if we have a conversation tomorrow, we can, I can find out what exactly was that news. But he did say that he's going to do something about it, and he's not happy with this decision. So
Mhm.
yeah, and if you look at the past, so I don't think so. If Putin is not happy, he does something about it. So I
Yes,
don't
he
know.
does.
I think because President Biden is still in the office, is still the president of the United States, right?
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
So, and then the tension is already going on between the Biden administration, the Democrats, and President Putin, I mean, Russia. So things are definitely, something or the other would definitely happen for now. But I think once Trump comes back to the office, some, if not all, then something will be settled.
Yeah, of course, something will be settled definitely. But he's also like, this is the type of ruler that we haven't seen any time, because he also says that if his teammates is not going to agree with his point of views or agree with his administration thoughts, then he's also going to fire them all without even a second thought. So this is something very scary, this is something very different, that I don't think that any because politicians are very much concerned about that they need to have a good teammate, they need to be settled properly,
But
so
then,
they
Sam, you will also have to think it
yeah,
this way that if the administration is not working towards the goal of what Trump is actually thinking, because after the administration is appointed, so they
yeah.
must be having a goal towards what they are planning to do or what they want to do for the country in these 4 years, right?
Yes.
And if the administration is not working in achieving those goals or towards those goals, I think so. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not, but this is one step that one has to take, right? Because they are ultimately going to follow the same path. Let's suppose we as a team, we work towards one goal, right? And if
Yes.
either of us takes another path or says, this is not how it should be done, but as a team, we have decided that this is a path that we are going to follow. And if one person is not following that path, then that
Obviously we create
it won't be
disturbance.
good for it
Yeah.
won't it might be good for the person, but it might not be good for us as a team, right? So similarly with Trump's administration, same thing is going to happen. They will be having one path that all of them will have to follow, and if
Hmm.
he thinks that one is not working towards that, he has to fire them. I mean,
But
he is,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm saying, but this is also good, if we look into it, because it's not possible all the time that you are going to involve so many different people with different ideologies and then you're going to work. Because you need to be very much tough, when you're working, and that too, if you have to work on your country. So you
Mhm.
can't waste time and, convincing other people and having some kind of disturbance in your own department. I think
Mhm.
that is something, a very small issue that someone is going to find out. So I think instead of focusing on that, Trump has completely been very straightforward in this, that he's not going to talk about all these very small issues that the teamwork or the team ideologies may have. He's definitely going to work on the country, how it's going to be. So I think this is also a very strong step that he took, and this is experimental basis only, so we can see how it's going to be. And I think this will help Trump definitely to work on his ideologies, what he wants to be. So
Mhm.
I think, yeah, obviously, because what he wants, he definitely gets it. So yeah.
He gets it done, right? And I think that's how a person should be if you plan to do something. And I think because of that approach of his, the US have re-elected him and he has won all the states. We have been talking about this day, I mean, for
Yeah.
so many days. And because of
Yes.
this kind of mindset and this approach is why people actually have re-elected him, right? So whatever that works for US, whatever that works for the country, he's going to do that. And I think if taking care of people's emotion, or if one is feeling bad, or if it's the right thing to do or not, I don't think so. Trump thinks about those things, and I don't
Not
think
at
so.
all.
As a government or
Yeah.
as a country, you should be concerned about those things, because those
Yes.
things are pretty petty things, right? To think
Yeah.
about, because ultimately, if your country is going to be, actually, there was also a very funny video where people were talking about.
That
Where
was.
I think it was about how I think the current government, they are talking about creating um, bombs or missiles or rockets or something they are talking about, and they are
Mhm.
saying that we are going to use the fuel, or we are going to have the air jets environment friendly. We are going to have it, but they are going to be environment friendly. So Trump was actually pretty blunt. I mean, he was not being politically correct, how people want the politicians to be, but he straightforwardly, he very bluntly said that, you are actually planning about dropping bombs, like
Obviously.
killing people, and then you're saying that let's do it in an environment friendly way. I mean, are you even listening to yourself what you're saying? So it actually reminds me of this. So he might
But
not be,
that's how Trump is. He's
yeah,
so cold.
Right. So just so you actually have to look at so many things. Now, just imagine you're talking about fighter jets and air jets. Where
Yes.
people where the soldiers will be flying and flying, and they'll be attacking another country. They'll be on a war, and they'll be dropping bombs and killing people. And then the main concern that you're talking about, it having it environment friendly. I mean, what are you even talking about? Like, right? So it's yeah. So there are actually so many things to talk about when you talk about Trump.
It
Um,
is.
he might not be politically correct, but what he says sometimes, the way he says it might not be right, but what he says is absolutely right. At least
Right.
sometimes,
Right.
not all the time, right? So
Yes.
yeah. I think this is what I think about it. Yeah, I think it was again lovely being here with you too, and you guys can continue with your
Same
conversation.
here. Same here. All
Thank you
right.
so much, Rajni.
Yeah, and I think Rajni comes here every time and shares a great information with us so that we can also think more about it. So thank you so much, Rajni, and guys, also to you. If you guys are watching this session, then it will be great to have you guys also. The way Rajni came and she shared her information, I think you can also do that same by dialing on 425 4366335, and then you'll get an access code. Then you have to type 9 and 5 times 8 with hash. So I think, guys, this will be a great opportunity for you also. Have it, and like use this great opportunity as much as possible so that we can have great conversation and great discussion on every topic that you would like to cover.
Mhm.
So yeah, and anything else, Nipasa, that you would like to cover on today's topic, or any message you would like to give it to our viewers about anything, about any message?
I think we covered so much, and I mean, the more we talk, the more we have, we'll keep on going into the maze of this, because there are so many things that Trump is aiming, prioritizing, and wanting to do, and his term is just about to start in
Mm-hmm.
say, I mean, right after this holiday season, we have Thanksgiving, then we'll have Christmas coming in, and then New Year, and we're going to have Trump. So I think we are looking forward for a lot of things to happen,
Yeah.
and depending on what is your status, what is your situation, who you are, what are you doing in America, I think
Mm-hmm.
you will have to also plan out your next moves. And I hope that everything falls in place for each one of us, and great things are going to happen. And of course, we all want the war to end.
Yeah.
Let's hope for the best and let peace prevail everywhere in the whole wide world. So, yes, I mean, 11 bold things Trump will do. We have so much, we spoke about so much, and I'm sure we will have a lot more to speak about tomorrow as well. And I'm so happy that we do this every day, Sam, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, friends. This is where we join in for Daily Immigration Dose. And thank you so much for joining us today. It was great having Arpita, Richard, commenting with so much passion. They had so much to say. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, Rajni, it's always lovely to have you with your point of views, very insightful. And yes, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you,
Yes.
Sam. I had a great time. You too, if you have anything, you can.
Well, me too, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, for commenting us, and to the Unipasa also. It was really great having you, and to Rajni as well. So, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show, and you can also have this opportunity to join us every day from Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. EST, and have this opportunity by joining Daily Immigration Dose. Thank you so much, everyone. It was great having you all. See you tomorrow.
See you. Bye bye.